Hey y'all, so it's Money Monday. I know my background looks a little different. In case you missed it, your girl is in Israel for a whole month. But I didn't want to skip out on Money Mondays, right? Today I want to talk about how my debt-free journey really just propelled me in so many ways. But the main way that I want to talk about today is how it really afforded me the option to be able to leave my 9 to 5, child. So y'all be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and let's get into this thing. Hey y'all, I just released my first financial literacy ebook, How I Became Debt Free in 22 Months. This is an easy, educational, and encouraging guide. I want you to check it out. It's only $5. Look in the link in the description box below and click that button. So in case you missed my video that premiered last week, y'all be sure to go check it out. I'll put it here or here, but definitely be sure to go check it out. Y'all have shown me so much love on that video so far. I talk about how your girl quit her job, which, just a little background about me. If you know Miss Duggan, you know I'm very organized. I'm very type A. I'm very driven and goal oriented. I'm really like intrinsically motivated. Like I don't need all the extra, accolades and things. Like that's kind of just something that, motivates me from within. But your girl did something that she never did before. And that was that I quit my job. Like I ain't never like quit a job and didn't go right into another job, and I think like I used the word quit because I was like, I don't want to do this no more and I don't want to do this nowhere else. So this was something that was just really different for me, that was really new for me. In that video that I tagged up top, I talk about just some of the stress that I was under, y'all. It had really started to affect my health. Your girl was on high blood pressure meds, high cholesterol meds. Actually, around this time last year, at my job, they had like the health people there where you can go and get a checkup. They typically do this at jobs. And I went and got my checkup. They pricked my finger and they did all these tests and things like that. And I got on a little telecall with the doctor. Girl, that lady said, hey, you need to call your primary care doctor and you need to go in ASAP because your blood pressure is through the roof. Your cholesterol is a miss, all the things. And, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's never happened to me before. Typically I go to the doctor and I'm A-okay. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of when it really started with me that, hey, I'm going to need to make a change here. Once, I decided to make a change, it really, like I said before, it was really hard for me. But, I knew I had just like more options than before. And when you got options, girl or sir, like when I tell you it feels so good, like you start to feel real free. You start to feel like a bird. You want to get out and just fly, soar like an eagle. So, me being debt free, was something that really just took that burden of bills, working just to give all your check away because you got all these things you got to pay. My debt-free journey is something that really just kind of propelled me, into being like, okay, I'm gonna, move forward, with a decision that I had made within myself. And I feel, of course it was nervous or I was nervous, but, I feel good about the decision that I'm making because I know that I have, done all of this preparation. Now, even with that being said, you have to create a plan. Creating a plan is so important. I know there are some people, who they just hop out there, child, and they just be like, bump it, I'll figure it out, on the back end. But creating a plan is so important, when doing anything, but especially, when quitting your job. And, me becoming debt free, that was a whole 22-month plan, If you don't know, I followed the Dave Ramsey baby steps to the T. He said you shouldn't be at a restaurant unless you're working there. Girl, that was me. I was doing DoorDash. I was doing Uber Eats. I was not eating out for like 22 months straight. But I created a plan, and I talked about this before, but now that I look back on it, with hindsight, at that time, I was really, when I was becoming debt free, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. I was, working with nothing to show for it. But now when I look back, not only was I trying to get out of that cycle, I was preparing, for something greater. And I couldn't have done that without a succinct plan. So you already know, if you don't know, the Dave Ramsey baby steps. Step 1, you save up $1,000 for a baby emergency fund. Step 2, you pay off all of your debt utilizing the debt snowball. So that was something, that I did. I can see just like my debt snowball written down in my head. I keep it in my wallet so that I never forget, because I don't want to go back there. But that plan was something that really, of course, it helped me financially, but it also just helped me, to just get my life together. Of course, your finances are a big part of your life, but once you start getting your finances together, other things that you didn't expect will fall into place as well. So it is so important that you create a plan. So here's the next step, y'all. I actually was listening to a podcast. I follow Anthony O'Neill. He was a Ramsey personality maybe like a year or so ago, but he stopped out, or probably longer than that. But he's kind of, propelled himself into his own thing. So sometimes I listen to his podcast. And there was this lady on there, and she was talking about like a freedom number, right? And basically your freedom number is the number that you have that you need to be free, whether that's free from a job, free from a relationship, whatever. But I applied that freedom number to, my job. So basically, your freedom number consists of your expenses, of course, and then whatever else you want to throw in there. But I remember like I did my freedom number, like I tallied everything up, and the number wasn't as big as I had expected it to be. You got all these bills, so much money be going out. But once you become debt free, once you pay that mess off, like your freedom number is really like succinct. And I think that's one thing, within our country. We always talk about how, the cost of living is so expensive. This is expensive, and yes, it is. But those other expenses is all that debt you got, okay? And I know that was me. But once I cut that out, I was like, oh, this all I gotta do, this all I gotta make. And your freedom number, of course, your freedom number is going to change over time. But for me, my freedom number is more of, what do I need to make to be able, to live comfortably, not above my means. Of course, I'm not on my debt-free journey as far as paying off debt anymore. But I definitely don't want to go back into debt, right? And you do want to have something left over. So it's important for you to tally up your freedom number. So if you're watching this video, listen, go ahead, list all of your expenses, your needs, throw a little bit of want in there, and write that freedom number down. Get familiar with it. I have it in my head right now. I wrote it on a sticky note on my mirror, and that was something, that kind of motivated me. And it also encouraged me as well. So write your freedom number down. Okay, girl, the next thing, you have to budget. I talk about this all the time. Budgeting was the key step, along with my budgeting envelopes that I still use to this day. That was the key step in helping me to become debt free. You have to budget. You ought to know what's in your bank account right now. You ought to know those last several expenses that went out. You should have a succinct budget, right? And then I do a zero-based budget. So that means that every dollar has a name. And I typically will budget like a week before I might get paid. And that's child been so busy lately. That's kind of been something that I've been waiting till like the last minute to do it. But you definitely want to make sure that you are giving yourself the time to budget. That is so, so important. And your girl helps out with budgeting. So if you want me to help you to build a budget, click that link in my description box below. But I utilize the Every Dollar app, and then I utilize my cash envelopes as well, right? So I always talk about that. For me, cash is king, right? I don't know what it is, but when I started using cash, because previous to my debt-free journey, like I never had cash. But when I started using cash, like my money just like really changed. Like I was able to, hold on to more money. I was able to see where my money went. And then it also just helped me to, remember that, hey girl, this envelope is getting a little low. You might want to back off that a bit. When I tell you I have money left over in my budgeting envelopes every month, versus to when I was, swiping that debit card like a ninja. I always joke about that. I have nothing left. So that is the key. You need a platform that you're going to budget on. I use every dollar, and you need to use cash, okay? Another thing that's very important, right? Of course, your girl still has to work. Like we all have to work, right? But I am just more interested in work on my own terms. I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to be there all day, So I am just more interested, into contract work, things like that, utilizing the other skills that I have to make a living for myself. But it is important, that you don't just get like grandiose, like you need a job, ma'am or sir, okay? Whatever that job, looks like for you. But I think, that it's very important to know that once you become debt free, you're really able to just look into those things that do interest you. You're able to make more sound decisions. So don't just be, watching my videos thinking, oh girl, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna just, be out here and it's just gonna come from the sky. Like, no, you don't work, you don't eat. So it is still important, for you to have your freedom number, know your freedom number, so that you can choose those employment options that are going to be able to take care of that, right? So please don't forget that. And listen, your girl just wrote her first financial literacy ebook. I'm so excited about it. It is pinned in the comments below. It's only $5. Go and take that $5 to invest in your financial future, okay? Click that link in the description box below. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.